That that's real close now. We've been in this for so long, and I'm thinking, are we gonna miss it? Like you miss a pet. Like if you had a pet for a year and a half, wouldn't you miss it
Yes.
after it was gone?
No, you're definitely. Well, it
Yeah.
depends what happens on whether you're going to miss it.
Well, it's been shitting all over the house.
Yeah.
Put it that way. We're going to be left with all of its.
That's why I'm
shit.
glad I don't have a TV show or a radio show because if it's Armageddon and the end of the nation and Hillary wins, well, for one thing, that's it for me for politics. I'm going to start
Oh my
writing
God.
mysteries.
Yes, mystery novels.
But can you imagine having to do? Well, I guess you do. If you have to do radio, well, you talk about other things, but you have to do radio or TV every day. It's not just the next day. It's the
Right.
next month until 2 months until the inauguration, 3 months until anything is happening politically. What do you talk about?
What do you talk about?
We will be. There will be a lot to talk about if it's Trump, though, because there will be the suicides in the media.
Yeah, that will be huge.
Oh my gosh, just the media watching will be fantastic.
Media and the lefty celebs will be so fun to watch, like Sarah Silverman throwing herself off of the Capitol Records building. Something, I just want to see so many disappointed people.
Right. Canada will build that wall.
Yes,
Just to
Canada.
keep the celebs out. Just to keep
The celeb, because
crybabies
they're all supposedly moving to Canada,
One of
not
the
Mexico.
many advantages.
Yes, but it's I'll miss it a little bit, this whole thing. But here, the media has been just dastardly with this whole thing. A year and a half of them coming out of the closet. They have come out to say, yes, you were right the whole time.
Yeah.
We tried to deny it for many years that we had a liberal bias. Now it's not even just a liberal bias. We are completely in bed with the left.
Yeah.
And we are doing our best to discredit this candidate and get this candidate elected, even though we're just supposed to be the eyes and ears
Including
of the nation.
lying.
Blatant lying, yes. And here's what I believe, though. I believe that no matter who gets elected, Trump or even Hillary gets elected, I don't want to think of that.
The media is still
the media
finished.
is going to turn, I think, because the story's too good.
No.
Once the election's over, I
No.
think Hillary,
No.
even if she is president, gets lambasted
No.
because the story's too juicy.
No.
And they're greedy. No,
they
you don't
might
see
be
it that way?
slightly more honest. No, 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 no.
You don't see them going after Hillary?
No, I do think there has to be a reckoning with the media after this election, no matter who wins.
They've lost every bit of credibility. with
Yes,
the American
and they do need to be punished.
Yes.
But I don't think they get it. I don't think they get that the way everyone else is looking at them. And to me,
Yes.
it's almost like when you go to LA and everyone has insane plastic surgery.
Right. So
They're
no
used
one
to looking
looks
at each other,
insane.
so they don't know what a normal person looks like anymore.
Right.
So they're so used to back scratching and log rolling like that it genuinely is shocking to them.
Wow.
I see with my friends that
Frightening.
if I were to say like, well, I know some Trump supporters, or most of them are like regular people who own small business, and they're like, what the fuck are you, like, they
Yes,
go insane
yes, yes.
that they're not actively burning crosses. And
Nazis.
it's
Yeah.
like it's because your frame of reference is so small, and I think
Yeah.
that's what the media is like.
Yeah.
That they just
Wow.
they can't conceive that there's anything other than this bubble they've put around themselves.
Yeah.
And because of that, I mean, and you're totally right. You will have people say to you, well, not me, I think, I'm for Trump, but other normal friends of mine will say that their friends will say, but you're not seriously voting for Trump,
Right,
though, right?
yeah, yeah.
Now, if they're going to behave this way and spend 1 year calling Donald Trump some combo platter of David Duke and Adolf Hitler, and now they think they're getting honest answers in the polls.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe people don't want to admit they're voting for Hitler.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
that's it.
Because if he wins, and I've always thought he's more likely to win than not, if he wins, this is going to be the biggest Bradley effect in world history.
Yeah. I think as far as the polls go, they're all over the place. And I think, and I don't want to sound like Mr. Tinfoil Hat, but I honestly think it's done on purpose to just confuse the hell out of the American people so that whatever decision need be made to pick a president, you can't go like, but the polls say.
Right, right.
But the polls, because I have not seen two polls that had the same answer.
Well, for a while, up until that's kind of true now, but 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, no, it was every poll showing Hillary sweeping all 50 states.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and that's why I'll have a lot to write about if Trump wins.
Well,
Oh,
it's almost like they have an interest in making her a front runner. Because
Yes.
people
Yes.
like front runners, so put her out front. And even if you're not making a conscious decision of, oh, well, I'll vote for I want to be on the winning team,
People like that.
they like the sense of inevitability to it. And I
Yeah.
And
think
people
that's
do vote for the winner. I never understood that, but if my guy were losing, it would make me even more determined to go out
yeah,
and vote.
go down
But
fighting. But
apparently I'm unusual that way.
But I
Most
think
people
it
like
also-
to vote for the winner.
it suppresses a little bit, and
Yes.
it also gets in people's minds that, well, if that's the person who's going to win, maybe I should vote for because maybe they know something I don't. I don't think this is happening on a
Yes.
conscious level. But look at what happened just before last Friday. It was like she was enjoying about a week of fait accompli. Like, she's going to
Oh,
win. Yeah, all right, you gave us a nice little scare. Ha, ha, ha. But now you got to. And then I think that the interesting thing is, I still think that with the Electoral College and all that, it's going to be really hard for him to win. But I see the Trump signs, and the way they still are trying to spin it, I heard someone say that, well, they're calling Trump voters and they don't want to admit it because they're ashamed of their candidate. And it's like you're still looking at it through your frame.
Right.
They don't want to admit it to you because they
Right.
don't want people doing donuts on their lawn and smashing their windows. And like, if you were to say to someone, what did you have for lunch today? And you said a tuna sandwich, and I was like, well, you're Hitler and you need to be destroyed. Like, you would be like, I had a big breakfast.
Right.
You wouldn't play into that. And I think that's the only real unknown. I don't know how
Yeah.
big that
right.
dark
That's
matter.
And
We
the other
don't know.
part of it is, I think Trump will see, but I think Trump is going to get either more of the black vote than any Republican since Richard Nixon, or the black vote is suppressed. I think he will do at least as well, not suppressed, but not as high. No
Well, they're
one's
not as
intentionally
enthusiastic.
doing this. Yeah, you're not going to have a huge black turnout, one or the other. I also think he will have a surprisingly large percentage of Hispanic voters, at least for a Republican, and he'll get a large percentage of lifelong Democrats and people who haven't voted before. So it's one thing, they keep saying, well, there was no Bradley effect during the primaries. Well, during the primaries, you were only talking to Republicans.
Right.
What, I think you're going to love me if I say Ted Cruz instead
Yeah,
of Donald
yeah.
Trump. But now these are people who have never voted Republican. It's bad enough to say you're voting Republican to your friends, to your family, to say you're voting for David Duke, Adolf Hitler.
I have not seen any indication that Hillary is or has been in the lead aside from the media telling us.
Yes.
Every other indicator
Yes.
shows me that there's a passion and a drive for Donald Trump and nothing for Hillary, except the media keeps telling us
Yes.
it's the other way around.
I've noticed that for
Right?
6 months now. Every time one of my friends was so optimistic, even in the middle of everything that was going on a few weeks ago. And I said, but wait a minute, didn't you hear about, XYZ? And he said, no, I've stopped watching TV. That's why
That's it.
I'm so optimistic. And I've noticed this for a long time. Every time I leave my home, I think, oh my gosh, it's going to be a landslide for Trump. And every time I turn on TV,
You're like,
it's
oh,
going to be a
Christ, she's
landslide for
gonna win."
Hillary.
Yes. And I've been saying that. I go, based on everything I've heard and seen over a year and a half, I don't know if this is going to be a landslide either way or not. Like, when has that ever happened?
Yeah.
Where you kind of get an inkling like, all right, I know that. Like, I wanted Romney to win 4 years ago, but I knew, like, you go, oh, God, it just doesn't feel like he's going to win.
Oh, I felt
This
like it.
feels like,
Not as much as this time, though.
this does feel like, and you were saying it, though, like, you picked Trump so early on that people were laughing at you. I remember that. They were laughing at you. No, Donald Trump's going to be the nominee. Ah, you. And that was it. So,
He's the candidate I've been waiting for my entire life.
right?
And
This
he
is
says
it.
everything have wanted. What's funny about him is, as I describe in my magnificent best-selling book, In Trump We Trust,
Yes.
he takes the popular side of every issue because he doesn't need the donors. He's not forced to take the suicidal positions that the RNC is
Right.
normally requiring politicians to take. So you sit back and watch him and think, it's almost like he's cheating. Okay,
Yeah.
you give me the issue, I'm going to take the side that's 80% popular.
Yeah. Instead of, oh, I'd like to take that side, but that's not
The
where
lobbyist,
I
the
made
Chamber
a-
of Commerce
I made a
won't let
commitment
me.
for a favor, and I
Right.
got to do this, and yeah. So we'll take a hit on that issue, and then we'll hit this issue harder.
Right.
And Trump is just like, no, build a wall. Yeah, people want a wall, right? You want things made in America again? Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Because it's like he stepped outside of the rules of the game, and
Yes.
we didn't realize how much we were accepting.
Yes.
Well, you know
Oh,
what?
boy.
If you're, I mean, the whole idea that, again, we go to the name calling and then this is the worst ever. It's like, well, you said Mitt Romney was the worst ever. And, oh, before that, you said McCain was the worst ever. And as soon as they drop out or no longer a threat to you, then it's like, why can't you be more like that guy? It's like,
Exactly
the guy you
right.
put devil horns on, the guy you
Yeah.
dumped blood on him in your phone. So I think what Trump done that's so, what he's done that's so fascinating is that he's just ignored the way things have done before. And it's almost like any sort of psychological blockage you'd put in your mind that when you realize, oh, I put that wall there, again a metaphorical word,
Right.
but it vanishes and you're like, wow, that wasn't a locked door.
Yes.
There wasn't a door there at all. I can
Yes.
do whatever I want, and it's freeing in a way because
Yeah.
even if he doesn't win, I think what he's exposed, that's not going to go away.
Oh,
We've
man.
learned, like you said, about the media, and even if you go to the primaries, this with the Bernie Sanders stuff, like, oh, they fucked him over too.
Yeah.
So now when Hillary Clinton says half Trump voters are a basket of deplorables, which is not even a phrase that people actually use, and she said the Bernie Sanders people live in the parents' basements. She's now, if you take that, that's about half of the United States of America
Right.
that she is coming out and saying are beneath contempt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear any more about how the Democrats are the nice people party. The
Right.
only reason they've been getting away with that is because the Republicans were pussies.
Yes.
You could call Hitler and they'd be like, well,
Oh,
Yeah.
they call me racist. Oh,
Yeah.
back away. Don't,
Yeah.
don't
and Trump
continue
will
the
come out,
conversation.
and he'll just say to her, like, you are a nasty woman. And she
I
is.
loved that.
She's
Love
a
it.
horrible human
Yes.
being.
I loved when he said that during the debate because sometimes what you were just saying on the psychological blockage, people need to hear something, to see something that's right in front of their faces. And every debate, she's been mocking, sneering, mocking, and she was just mocking him in that debate. It was something about all of our Social Security taxes will go up if Donald doesn't find a way to get out of paying them. But it was something to that effect.
yeah.
And it was just a perfect interruption, not an interruption because it was during a pause in what she was saying. He just said, such a nasty woman.
Yeah.
And at that moment, I tweeted out, I'm so glad he pointed it out because yeah, we had seen her being nasty, but you needed someone to say it
Right.
to notice she really is nasty.
But then, of course, they twist it all around
Yes.
to be misogynistic. Oh, he's saying that because she's a woman, and they had
But
nothing
then,
to
right,
do.
then you wouldn't need the adjective. If
Right.
he thinks all women are nasty, he could have just said, such a woman.
You're right. Yeah.
No, you're the nasty one.
You're a nasty
can't
woman.
win because we're at the point now where that weird feminist, like, I'm a warrior and I'm a victim happening at the same time. That
Yeah.
anything that happens, it's like, does everything have to be a constant affirmation, a combination of like a yogurt commercial, like, you're gonna go get him. Like, look, if she wants to be president of the United States, she has to take hits, and give her credit, she's a tough broad. Like Hillary Clinton is in there for the fight. Physically, I don't know if she is, but
Right.
mentally, she's ready to push buttons on people.
Oh, yeah.
She's not playing around. So, again, yeah, he was the one. Like, there were so many times in this election where he would say something early on, and I would think, like, even with the McCain thing, and you're like, oh, God, he's a war.
yeah.
Like, how's he going to get out of that? And I know people in the know who said, like, well, that's it. It's been fun.
Oh, so many times.
But
Yeah.
then he comes out, and he's like, he'll say something, and then he'll say the opposite afterwards, and you're like, how
Yes.
did he do that? How did he do that?
No, it's
he
a-
just contradicted,
yes.
but he believed it both
Oh,
times,
that's
and you're
great.
kind of like, I guess
No,
I'm
it's
going to come
it's
along.
a technique I intend to cultivate,
Oh.
and that is you say something that's completely false.
Yeah.
Not only do you never apologize, which has been my rule for a long
Yes.
time, but you never even acknowledge it. So
His expression doesn't change.
I say black, and the answer is white, and then an hour later I'll say, oh, I shouldn't have said gray. And then the next morning, it shouldn't have been battleship gray. And then a few hours later, people want me to apologize for saying eggshell. And suddenly, like 24 hours later, he never even said it. He's never.
Yeah, but this looks like solid gold, too.
I thought you might enjoy